Can y'all see me? Oh, you can see my comments. Good. We'll start in like 5 minutes. Still waiting on Nate. Oh, there he is. Nate can probably see me, but I can't hear him because I'm already up here. Can you hear me, Nate? Okay, good. So we'll start in like 5 minutes. Let me just bring Nate up now. We'll just have fun. Hold on. You want to come up? All right, hold on. There he is.
Here I am.
There you are. Yay! So
It's
yeah,
kind of weird. I got my camera up there, and then I have my laptop
same.
down.
I'm looking down to look at the chat, and
Yeah,
then I have to look up at the camera.
yeah.
So don't think we're weird, guys. We're just and actually, here, talk to the chat. I forgot my water. Hold on, let me go get it.
Ugh.
Can't not have water for 2 hours. I mean, that would be horrible.
And then I need to be. I think
What?
I need to have the actual YouTube channel pulled up to see the comments, right?
Oh, you can't see it? Click comments over on the right. Do you see something that says comments?
Yep. Now I see it.
Yeah, so we can chat in there.
Hey, everyone. Oh, okay. And this is what's on. Oh, yeah, I can see that they're all from YouTube. Are you streaming anywhere else other than YouTube?
No, just YouTube.
Okay. This is so cool.
It is. I'm going to put up an official copy of the interview that's not part of the live, so it'll be kind of on my channel twice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I might even download it and throw the QA on. We'll see. I'm going to do something pretty cool. But all right, let me get situated. I can't tell how many people are here, though. It doesn't show me that. That's lame. If I went on YouTube, let me go on YouTube and see. And guys, make sure if you close the comments, you can click the little thumbs up. Make sure you all click the thumbs up on the video because that just helps kind of push it out, I guess. I don't know. Video because that. Let me mute that. Okay, there we go. So it looks like we've got about 15 right now. Cool. Right on.
Nice, nice.
So let me go click the thumbs up. I just clicked it. You can click it too if you want.
Oh, definitely.
And subscribe if you're not. All the things. And at the end of the interview, it does say check Nate's stuff out in the description. It's not going to be there
Yes,
yet.
yes. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep. So what time is it? All right, we'll wait a few more minutes. I've never done this, but Dave on the nap told me how to do this. So we're streaming it like from my computer, but he said
that's so cool.
So yeah, I guess
yeah. He does that all the time, where he does interviews elsewhere or at a different time, and then streams them for his show.
Yeah. But from his local drive, I was like, yeah, I guess internet's so fast now that it just buffers. Hey, Christy.
Right.
What's the topic, Val? You'll see. We're going to launch an interview in about 3 minutes that I had with Nate about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I think so. Yeah.
About his GLP-1 journey, and pretty awesome. Probably 4 weeks.
It's so weird to be like looking at people, but just staring at a lens.
I know.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. Nice backdrop. I have to be in my Tugger. Come
Thanks.
here. Tugger. You're not.
I really wish I had a different backdrop, but it's just.
No, it looks good.
I mean, it's what people know. So this is where I do all my lives. So
you've got Coca-Cola, liquor, a purple light. Love it.
Yeah.
I'm in a recliner.
I'm very into Coke, which is hilarious now that I don't drink any Coke.
Come. All right, got the dog in the lap.
Did you try calling me?
No, I texted you.
Oh.
And I was just like, I'm here, ready when you are. That was it, though. I don't think I called you.
Maybe someone tried to.
I pushed the notification through, though, because you had it on silence.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Shanti! Hi, everyone that I'm missing. All right,
what up, sunshine?
I'm going to close YouTube, so I don't have too many things streaming. It might mess with my internet.
Yes.
times.
Yes.
All right, it's 7. What do you think? Should we just get started? Or you want
I
to
mean,
wait?
maybe wait a few minutes just
Okay.
since people know it's starting at 4,
Yeah.
can wait a few minutes.
Yeah, well, that's fine with me. Nate, its
Just
cat.
a little bit of a buffer.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I know it's you, Kat. Good to see you. Oh,
Hang on. Okay, do that.
it's so crazy how little you need to like stream uh and like have a platform. Like
Yeah.
it's so wild. Like this looks like, I mean my backdrop isn't super professional, but like you
I
really
like.
don't need much to like make it happen, you know?
Yeah. No, I like your hell. I bought a black screen. That became my black drop. My backdrop.
Yeah, I do, Kat. I can't wait to hear it either. I kind of forgot what we talked about a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Time
I know
time
it was
flies when
really
you're
good
having
though.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you end up rewatching it yesterday?
A little bit. My ADHD takes over, and then I'm like, dang it. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
hopefully it was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, hopefully there's nothing in there that should have been removed. I usually take notes if that's the case.
You're
I
right,
don't think
right.
so. I mean, I think,
Yeah. I
you
think
know,
we were good. Yeah.
yeah, we did all the gossiping before we started recording.
Yeah. Yep. Hi, Laura. Welcome in.
Hey, everyone. Jennifer, Kim, Sue, Sharon, Sarah, Lori, everyone.
Welcome.
This is going to be great.
It is.
Tugger, what are you doing? And then once you go down, just mute your microphone. I don't think it'll matter, but do it to be safe.
Okay.
Once I will too.
Yeah,
Just
like people shouldn't be able to hear me if I'm down.
I don't think so, right? I don't think you have to. But could we hear each other? Probably not. I don't think so. We could find out.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll find out if you can talk behind the scenes. That would
Yeah.
actually be that would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let a big burp rip, and Nate's like, "What was that?
Right.
Wasn't he teeny?"
Yeah.
All right, we'll start at 7:05. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Lauren. Welcome in.
Fat John.
Welcome. Congrats on your podcast relaunching.
Yeah, I need to check it out. Hello. Is
Yeah.
it on YouTube or is it on TikTok? Like,
Hi,
where is it?
Teeny.
Tell me more, Lauren. All I did was hear about it. Absolutely, Lynette.
Of course. It's what we're here for.
Teeny. Oh, that's right. TD and Sunshine are actual mods in my YouTube, and we don't do lives
I
every day.
love it.
Okay, cool. Just let me know. I will definitely share it wide and far, Lauren. Water check. All right. Close that. I'm always so afraid I'm going to close the window that I'm streaming from.
Yeah.
Oops.
That would be so scary.
I know. I think it would end everything, so I will not do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Dina. All right, it's 7:05. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so we'll remove us, and then I'm gonna add the video. We'll just start it. Remember to hydrate, like Teeny says, and afterward we'll come back up and we'll do a Q&A. So get your questions ready.
Let's go.
All right, peptide gang. All right,
See
here
you
we
guys
go.
afterwards. That's right.
All right, so I'm here with Nate Currie. Thanks for taking the time and joining me today, Nate.
Of course.
So why don't you just start by kind of sharing your story, how it started, how you got to where you are now, whatever you'd like to
Mhm.
share.
Totally. I got a long, a long 30-year history, but I'll just give a brief overview, I guess. I always like to start out with saying that I was diagnosed with ADHD at age 8. And there's some science out there that links neurodivergence and obesity and type 2 diabetes together as different forms of insulin resistance. And so I recognize in my own life and my own experience that obesity, although I believe firmly that I was born with it, I started noticing it when I was 8 years old. My mom, one of the experiences I remember from back then was that my mom took me to get my first pair of Husky Levi's at the department store at the mall. And that experience was, I didn't understand the full ramifications of that, but it definitely had a huge effect on me as the years would go on. And my mom and I are very close knit when it comes to our relationship with food and our body. And I recognize now that we're both really like struggling with the genetics of our relationship to food and the food noise that we both struggle with, although our bodies are vastly different sizes. Um, a lot of the things that were damaging to me as a kid were purely because my mom was trying to survive as well. And one of the things that I think kind of encompasses our relationship is that she would constantly recite this mantra to me, um, that she would also tell herself, which is "taste is momentary and thin is forever." And that has had catastrophic impact on my journey as well, and having to kind of unpack that and kind of retrain myself and my soundtracks that I tell myself and what I believe about my body, which is that I have a disease of obesity and now type 2 diabetes. So I steadily gained weight through childhood, even though I was actively playing on a competitive soccer team for 9 years. And then in the middle of my high school career, I would lose 40 or 50 pounds and felt really great. I was the homecoming prince and the homecoming court at my local small high school. And that was one of the highlights of my high school years. But then the last 2 years of high school and then going into my early 20s, I would gain quite a bit. And then probably like over 100 pounds. Um, and then I was just very involved in entrenched in diet culture, and so I starved myself. I didn't think I was starving myself, but I was just a very restrictive diets and things that really didn't. I mean, it's kind of like the rabbit diet with a little bit of protein. And so I lost 100 pounds and then it hit a massive stall for quite a few months. And then over the next 10 years, I steadily gained 400 pounds with a small stint in eating disorder clinic, partially inpatient. And um, yeah, part of my story is that I have also been the victim of medical neglect and medical harm due to um, seeing providers that believe that you can be healthy at every size and that you don't necessarily need to lose weight and that obesity is not a real disease and that as long as I was told as long as I nourished myself that my body would find a natural set point. But that set point never came. I just kept on gaining weight and I know now that that's due to my body's biology and that my body is dysregulated and that I gained that weight because of the dysregulation. Um, so I got to the last 5 years have been quite a whirlwind between the events of the world and being trapped in my house, not only because of the world, but then when the world woke up and was able to kind of resume life, I did not. I stayed in my house and between my bed and my couch, that was where I lived. I got to the point where in 2023, I was not working, I was not driving, I was not really leaving my house for any length of time. I couldn't really take care of myself. I couldn't shower without having to take a break halfway through. Um, and the brain fog was tremendous. The pain was 15 out of 10. Um, and so I, like everyone else in 2020, joined TikTok. And in 2023, I started seeing people going crazy for boxes of Manjaro. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Uh, and what was intriguing to me is one that they like it just were driving incredible distances to get it, and then also talking about all of the things that it was helping. Which the big one for me was not the weight. The big one was the inflammation reduction. Um, because I didn't really tell anyone until I was well along in my journey that I had an incredible amount of joint pain and inflammation and edema. My legs had turned purple. I was experiencing the starts of neuropathy in my feet and loss of vision, which are all very common with type 2 diabetes when it's not being when you're not actively seeking therapy uh, for type 2 or uncontrolled type 2. And all of this was very concerning, but didn't seem concerning to my primary care provider, or at least not concerning enough to get me on metformin or something like that. And I kind of looked over my health history over the years and kind of shocked at how little blood work was done to keep track of my blood sugar levels and A1C levels over the years. And so, I kept on seeing videos of really informative TikTokers, and those lives and videos convinced me that I had whatever they had. It was a little confusing because all of them were women at the time. And I'm like, is this like a women's thing or like or do I have these issues too? But enough of their health problems convinced me that it was the same or at least adjacent to it. And so I reached out to my primary care provider and knew that she probably wouldn't give it to me, but I had no other choice because I had been forced to go on a medical leave from work because could no longer. I was forced to go back into the office to switch roles due to some movement inside the my organization, and I couldn't handle that job, and so I went on a medical leave without having a plan really for how I was going to re-enter work. And it really felt insurmountable at the time. Um, but I just kind of did the I sat on this couch with my mom before we made a decision, and she's kind of been at a loss over the years of what to do because I had resigned myself to thinking that this is my 600-pound version of myself was who I was meant to be. And that even though it's not what I wanted or what I felt I was supposed to be, that it was my lot in life and that there was no way out of it. It was a prison that, whether it was my fault or not, that's where I was, and there was no way to fix it, because I was told that I would never be able to manipulate my body weight ever again, which is just absolutely, given where I am today, it is absolutely mind blowing that any provider would ever tell anyone that they could ever fix obesity or could not fix obesity. Um, so my mom and I had a huge cry session here in the living room, and I didn't think it was gonna work. I actually made the decision to not tell anyone in my family outside of my immediate family, and didn't tell anyone on social media except for the completely separate TikTok account that I made, and kept it hidden for the first 9 months, because I was sure that it was going to be a flash in the pan and that I would gain my weight back just like every other time that I had lost weight. Um, And so I did end up going to my primary care provider, and asked to be put on Manjaro. And they said, well, if your A1C is high enough, this is something that I would give to you, but we need to do blood work first. And I said, okay. But then I went to another provider and that I've actually known for 20 years. I'm no longer with them, but um, they're an or a weight loss surgeon, and so I walked out of that appointment a few days later with my medication, and more lab work, and it came back, A1C of 6.5. So
Right there.
after chasing type 2 diabetes for over 2 decades, I finally was diagnosed because, I finally wasn't, trying to fix it of my own accord. Um, I truly think the reason I didn't go type 2 faster is because I took drastic measures to manipulate my body weights and therefore my symptoms of the type 2 diabetes. So I don't, I think everything happens for a reason. Yeah, if I had found GLP-1 medication any earlier, maybe it wouldn't have worked as effectively. My results on Manjaro alone are absolutely incredible, and far surpass the clinical trials. So I'm very thankful that this is the one and only med that I've been on so far. Have not even been on metformin. So anyway, I also dropped my A1C by a little bit, even in the first few weeks of the med, because I got my A1C checked by my primary and then also by the obesity surgeon, or sorry, weight loss surgeon. Um, and then I don't know that I want to just like jump to right now, but anyway, so October 6th of 2023, I took my first shot. And I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't I just wasn't expecting it to work,
Same.
which seems absolutely crazy now, um, because anyone who's watching this, your jaw, if you don't know my story, your jaw is probably going to drop, um, because I just truly like even 6 months, 9 months, a year into this, I was like, oh, it's going to stop. And I'm now about to cross over into 16 months and it hasn't stopped. So it's just incredible, what happens when your body is regulated.
Yes.
And it's just incredible. And I've said this and I will continue to say this, that the I've lost an incredible amount of weight but that pales in comparison to all the things that I've gained on this journey. Um, and to be able to have my life back and a second chance at life, and to not worry about whether I'm gonna wake up in the morning every night is an incredible gift that I would love to give to anyone that needs it. So this last 16 months has been quite the blur. So I'll give you and your audience the stats of this last year. The first 90 days, um, I put in some work and dropped 100 pounds in the first 90 days, 60 pounds in the first month. And
Some of
I
that,
actually
I'm
don't
sure, was inflammation, right?
totally a lot
Yeah.
of inflammation. My pain was gone. Probably, I mean, the pain started getting better like the first couple of days, but
Yeah.
the pain was gone, I would say, by the first month or so. Um, I didn't move a lot. Uh, so I was basically immobile for all intents and purposes before the meds. And I didn't really move a lot until I was forced, or I mean, not, yeah. So the medical leave ended, and I started at the end of September, and then I went back at the beginning of January 2024, and I had gone from roughly 600 pounds to 500 pounds, and that's when I started going from like 200 steps a day to like 100 or 1,000 or 1,500 steps a day. And that was I actually switched jobs when I came back. So the job that I left at the start of the medical leave, I left that a month after I came back and went to another job because I was worried about the amount of movement I was going to get at the job if I stayed at the other one. In retrospect, it probably would have been fine, but I was just paranoid that it would be too much because I had no idea how quickly this was all going to remedy itself. So, let's see here. Um, so yeah, that's uh, I hate that I do not know where I started
What do you mean?
weight
Weight-wise?
wise.
Oh, got
Weight
it.
wise, yeah. So, but funny thing about that is that well, they didn't at my primary care that I was seeing, they don't weigh. I mean, sometimes they do if they need it, like if it's medically necessary. But they don't weigh every time you come in. So the first time, well, I at the time did not have a scale at home because I didn't believe in scales up until this point, which I'm now a daily wearer, so that's
Just saying.
weird. Yeah, I love the data. So,
Yeah, me too.
um, so the scale at the weight loss surgeon's place caps out at 600 pounds. So, and it actually like said like a little error on the little screen. And then when I started to step off of it, it flashed like 592 or something like that. So I'm like, well, it was over 600 pounds. And at first they weren't putting that in my chart. And then I talked to them a few months later and I said, hey, like I really think that we should put my starting weight at least 600 because I don't know why you don't have a scale that works past 600, but maybe that's because the majority of people don't hit 600 pounds. But yeah, so I kind of decided like 6 months into my journey that I was going to switch it up to 600 because I had originally said that my starting was like 540. But that was actually untrue because that was a week of weight loss where I lost 40 pounds in my first week. Um, so fast forward to today, 16 next week is 16 months. I've lost 290 pounds
Half,
and
half
yeah,
your
almost
former
half of
self.
my body weight.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
1.5% away from 50% lost in
Wow.
16 months. Um, and what's crazy is I haven't really tried that hard.
Yeah.
You know, I am in full agreement that like I still did the work.
Yeah.
I still counted the calories. I still got the movement in. But the playing field has been leveled,
Yep.
and I've been able to show up and put in the work, and that 290 over 16 months is an average of 18 pounds per month.
It's amazing.
So with that trend, obviously I'm not losing 20 pounds a month anymore.
Yeah.
But even with the rate of loss, I'm still losing 1 to 1.5% per week of my current weight. So with that trend, I've kind of like done the math the last like month or so over and over again to because I obsess about it. But I think that I'm gonna hit goal around October, which will be my 2-year mark.
Nice.
My goal is to hit 70% down. So I'm planning to lose in the next 9 months. I'm planning to lose around another 20%.
Okay.
Um, so I lost 20% in 2023. I something or yeah, 20%, and then I lost like 30% in 2024, and then I'll lose another 20% in 2025. Um, and so that's really great. But an equally important part is that the A1C is now come down in a normal range, and my A1C as of a week ago is 5.5.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's I have had a normal A1C before, but it was due to me starving myself.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is come into normal range with me just living my best life, um, and being on therapy that is allowed my body to be regulated is absolutely incredible. My favorite sassy comment back to people is when they say, "Oh my God, what are you eating?" or "What's your diet?" And I say, I'm not on a diet. I just take meds that regulate my body.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the best comeback for people that don't believe that obesity is a disease or
Yeah.
are unaware that obesity is a disease. And I hope that people come back to this video 10 years from now and are stoked that we're at a spot where society believes that it's not any amount of willpower or grit or or of anyone's own volition, but it is purely due to dysregulation being fixed.
Yep.
That's I think all something that we want to see happen in our lifetime, and I have lots of hope that we'll get there.
Yeah.
Um, and it is like it's what's crazy is that I've lost 50% basically, which means that like I mean, I'm over halfway through the weight loss, right? But I'm kind of just like halfway through the transformation
Yes. Same. Yeah.
because I've lost 50% of the weight, but I'm still going to lose another 20% of the original body weight, which is almost, I mean, it's not 50% of my current weight, but like I'm almost 300 now, and I'm planning to get to 180, which is almost 50%
Hmm.
of my current body weight.
Yep.
um, and then I'm also planning on having surgery to remove all of the loose skin. I think that it's possible that I'll need 3 or 4 surgeries to get it all removed,
Yeah.
because at the end of the weight loss portion of all of this, I will have lost 420 pounds.
Well,
So I'm already having I had skin issues, horrible skin issues at 600,
yeah.
and I have taken very good care of my skin, especially now that I'm able to, and it
Yeah.
has shrunk incredibly. Um, but there's still issues, and I'm sure there will be more once the skin is more flat,
Yeah.
and there's more surface area. More surgeries, either in 2026 or 2027. Um, I had plans about 8 years ago to go back to school.
Hmm.
I'm in the medical field, and those got put on hold. I had no idea at the time it was because I was sick, but I just the brain fog was so bad that I couldn't get myself to apply for school. I got the transcripts, and then the transcripts just sat for 8 years. Um, but luckily, a couple months ago, I turned those in, and I'm now waiting for an interview to get into a program here in Seattle to further my medical career.
Nice.
And
What do you wanna
so
do?
I'm going to become an X-ray tech.
Okay.
So I'm going to get a
Alright.
degree in radiologic sciences,
Okay.
and my plan is to travel as an X-ray tech for a few years, and then possibly go back to school to become a radiation therapist.
Nice.
Um, so we'll just kind of see where the wind takes me.
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to being, whimsical and carefree, and being able to travel and go see my friends around the country while working as an X-ray tech. And, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should watch My 600 Pound Life, because it's not triggering well, it'll
Yeah.
probably be triggering, but at least I could understand what it was like for other people.
Mhm.
But I know in my own experience, like it is wild to just be walking down the hallway at work, hallways where I experienced incredible amounts of pain, and
Mhm.
to now walk pain free. We have this like roundabout area where we have hospital shuttles that uh, shuttle people that work there, employees. Sorry, I was like, what is that word? They shuttle employees on and off campus. And was walking in to work the other day, because I take the bus to work, part way to work, and I was just walking down the like entrance basically into the hospital, and it catches me off guard when there's no pain.
Yeah.
I just can't. It is mind blowing, the contrast between where I was a year and a half ago
Yeah.
and to where I am now. Like literally a year and a half ago, I was about to leave work because I couldn't handle work. I couldn't stand up for more than a minute
Yeah.
without incredible. I had pain even when I was sitting, but just to like even stand for 1 minute, I couldn't even stand up straight because my legs and calves were so tight,
Yeah.
from all the edema and inflammation, and now I just casually walk to work. We have a park that we park at that's about a mile and a half away from the hospital, and sometimes I just walk to work because I can walk the mile and a half and then work an 8-hour shift because I can.
That's
You
amazing.
know, I just recently went back to my one of my favorite hikes here locally. It's about 20 minutes from me because I can. Um,
Yeah.
those types of experiences, uh, I wouldn't wish anyone to be morbidly obese. Um, but having those experiences of being able to re-engage with life are something that I hope I never take for granted.
Yeah.
Um, and it definitely makes you realize how beautiful and important life is, and
Mhm.
thankful that I still get to be here. So
Right on. No, I
yeah.
can relate in the sense of, I have bad knees. I had arthritis as a teenager in my knees.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, after, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, I couldn't really go on a walk without being in pain. I couldn't stand for more than 20 minutes, but it was mostly bone on bone, arthritis and my weight.
Yeah.
And about to get my second knee done. And all I want to do is go walking. Plus being outside in
Yeah.
nature, there's nothing like being outside. Like, I'm
Yes.
ADHD, you're AD, I mean, tell me if this
Mhm.
is the same for you, but if I am in my house, there's computers, I don't know, my mind's always busy. If I go outside, it's like everything shuts off just
Yeah.
being outside. So I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited to be able to, you know, do what most people can do every day. So,
Totally, totally.
yep.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's not the first time, but, like, I was just there on Monday, so basically a week ago, um, and it was so crazy, like, the relief I felt from just being in the woods.
Mhm.
And I had my AirPods with me, but I didn't use them because I
Yeah.
was just so entranced by the nature surrounding me. And that was I would sit here right by my window for years, and just I would want to go outside. I mean, I'm a very much a nature person. Um, so like I would talk to my therapist about this a lot about like wanting to be back on the trails, and I snowboarded once in high school, and I ever since then I've wanted to go back, but my what I recognize now is my disease just what didn't make it accessible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I used to run up trails in high school, like trail running is something that I love. And so to sit here on a couch where I can barely move and just in pain, just sitting here. I also, because of the type 2 diabetes, would sweat profusely just sitting
Oh, wow.
in a cold apartment, um, and would just stare outside. And there's like a walking trail slash like bike trail um, that's like walking distance away from my house that goes between counties. And I mean, right now, I could walk down there right now and with no, like I wouldn't even think twice about it. But I would sit here for years just daydreaming about being able to just walk freely down that trail, um, not thinking that that would ever happen. I thought that was out like
Yeah.
I was really just waiting to like exit the game of life
Yeah.
because I didn't think there was any possibility that I would ever, because so many of my providers said you'll never be able to purposely manipulate your body weight ever again. And I believed them. And the amount of mental anguish that I went through on this couch, I can't wait to throw this couch away. The amount of pain mentally that I went through as a neurodivergent person. Um, yeah, I mean, the thoughts some days were so loud
Mhm.
and I just couldn't turn them off. Like, and I knew that the answer was the trees and the
Isn't that
outdoors
funny? Isn't
and
that
the
funny?
air. I
Yes.
knew that that was the answer, but I couldn't get there because I knew that the pain to get there, even to get in my car and drive to the parking lot, which
Yeah.
would take less than 5 minutes. I mean, maybe more because of my mobility issues, but
Right.
it's literally like 5 minutes away, in like less than 5 minutes in the car. The pain of just driving there, because I had a stick shift at the time, was too great to
Yeah.
consider even, going there and rolling down the window to just be physically there in a car. I wasn't going to beaches. One thing that I really need to make a video about one of these days is I also am because well, neurodivergent people tend to be pretty creative. So I find that music is really, really important to me and has been for the majority of my life. And that was not a part of my life the last few years. Kind of like the last part of the like 2010s into obviously into the 2020s. Um, and I think it's tied to the inflammation because then I started driving about halfway through my medical leave. I started driving to my appointments because I had gained some mobility back. So I wasn't working yet, but I would drive and I would find myself turning the radio on in the car, and and then all of a sudden I started finding myself singing along to the songs that I used to listen to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, the music's back,"
That's
which is
funny.
just
I think I without even thinking about it, I experienced something very similar because I love music, but for a long time it was
yeah,
just like, nope, I don't even wanna
yeah,
listen, you know? And then you
yeah, I
do,
feel
and then it's like, "Oh."
mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because
really
it's
interesting.
therapeutic,
Yep.
Um, and I think, yeah, I mean, the disease just takes over the brain.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess similar to dementia, which is, I guess we'll find more about that in the coming years, how that's linked. But they lose their minds due to brain. I mean, basically, I mean, that's not a scientific name for it, but basically brain rot. Like the
yeah,
brain is literally wasting away. And so that's kind of what it feels like the brain's coming back online.
yeah, yeah.
Um, which is, yeah, I mean, the brain's already loud with the ADHD. So,
Well,
um,
speaking of that, have you noticed, like for me, food noise, obviously, if you're ADHD, in my opinion, it's even worse because you're
yeah,
ADHD.
yeah.
But
No, my therapist said that's just more hunger cues, so I shouldn't turn those off.
so Ah, I listened
Yeah.
to I was one that responded very quickly. I took my shot 12 hours later, I knew my life was gonna change, um, but my whole brain was quieter. It wasn't just the food
Mhm.
noise, like, my noise, all the noise, I would obsessively worry about stupid stuff that
Yep.
really meant nothing, and I still do. There's moments if something happens that stresses me out, I will go there, but it's so much quieter. I'm still ADD, I still can't focus for shit, but, the noise is really so did you experience something similar with that?
Yeah, don't you feel like it's kinda like normal now?
Yeah,
Like back to when you were younger?
yeah.
Yeah.
Have
I
these
feel
those
I
and
feel
stuff.
like the inflammation made it worse.
Yeah, it's
And so
interesting.
now that the inflammation is down and the rate and everything's being regulated, my ADHD is back down to where it was when I was in high school or, when there was less inflammation.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting.
Still ADHD. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would agree that it's
like, a lot of my anxiety associated with, because that would
mhm,
make it worse, seems to be
yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah, my soundtracks about myself are a lot better as well.
Mhm, mhm,
I also there I was truly not living life.
mhm.
This entire living room was covered with fast food trash for months and months on end
Yep.
because I couldn't handle it. My mom would come over every couple of weeks and clean it up. Um, that's honestly painful to talk about. So the noise was not only like physically around me, but well, this physical living environment was the manifestation of what was going on in my head. Um, and yeah, the soundtracks and the depression
Mhm.
and all of that. I got put on Wellbutrin and it didn't do shit for me.
Yep.
Um, because it wasn't fixing the problem. And Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because for the first time, and maybe you'll understand this since you're a neurodivergent as well.
Mm.
For the first time in my adult life, I have a clean house.
Mhm.
My laundry's all done. There's no laundry on the floor. My bed sheets have been washed. The trash has been taken out. The fridge is clean.
Yep.
My life in this little apartment is all in order.
Yep.
And what's crazy that I didn't realize would happen, because I've been working on that this last year, like, it's been a slow process of, like, kinda slowly taking care of the things around the house to, like, make sure that it's back to normal. Um, so even in, this last month, I've been, like, working on things to, like, kinda get it back to some semblance of just, normalcy, and, it's the I kind of could see this when I was in the thick of it at 600, but the amount of relief and permission that my body has to leave this house is incredible. I had no idea the chains that I had on me
Mm.
purely from not giving myself permission to leave the house because it wasn't in order. Which is, partially the ADHD, but it's also the disease. Like I was which is interesting because I would tell my therapist over and over again, I'm like, "I feel like I'm trapped in a prison, like I can't leave." And when I would talk about the prison, I thought I was talking about my body, which it was a prison, but also so was my house. So, like,
Mhm.
like the house kind of felt like the prison, and then not the prison cell kind of felt like my body. Like I was trapped on multiple levels, and even this last year, I really struggled with like, um, I mean, I had social anxiety from not being out of the house for years.
Mhm.
But I do feel like there is some small connection to like the house not being in order for even while I was in this transformation. And now that the house is basically in order and I don't have any like anxiety around leaving the house anymore.
Mhm.
And I feel fully okay to leave the house and to experience life outside. um, because things are in order, which is the first time that's really ever happened since I've left home.
Yeah.
And I left home 10 years ago. So, um, yeah, it's it's been a wild journey.
Yeah, I had ebbs and flows, I never realized I had depression too, which obviously I
Mm,
did on and off my whole life.
yeah.
And there were times where my house reflected my brain, like
Mhm,
my mom didn't come over to my condo when I lived in, is when I was in my late 20s, mid 20s
mhm.
for years. Cause one, she's a neat freak. I'm
Mm,
adopted. Like I grew up being ADHD.
right.
They didn't know. I wasn't diagnosed till I was 51. But
Wow.
I came to my own conclusion that, it's like my outer reflected what was going on up here. And because I was ADHD, you look at the mountain of what you have to do to get your house physically right, and it's so
Mhm.
overwhelming that you can't even do it, you know what I mean? So, I mean,
Yeah,
I know you can relate, to that, and even now, like, my house is clean, like, it's clean as
yeah.
far as it's not dirty, but I have too much stuff. I have
Mhm.
clutter that I want gone, and I know if it were neater, I'd be calmer, so it's
Yeah.
even I'm not quite where I wanna be, but I'm so much
Mhm.
further along than I was, with that.
Yeah.
But man, it's no joke. It's no joke.
Yeah. Well, and I knew that even when I was in the thick of it.
Mhm.
And I very much appreciated my sister helped me a couple of times, and then but my mom was the she was I wouldn't, well, maybe not savior, but like if I would not be where I am to today if it weren't for her.
Well,
Um
I think to have someone that's
so
not gonna judge you, that's willing to help you,
mhm,
is such a gift, and yeah, that can be
yeah.
tough if you don't have
I
that.
Yeah, totally. Well, and seeing her transformation of like not understanding where I was coming from. Um, I think it was really painful for I mean, I don't think, I know it was really painful for her to see me accept what these providers were telling me,
Mhm.
and her knowing that it was completely wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't I mean, they were citing like clinical data, and I'm like, I guess they just don't know what they don't know. But like
Yeah.
to have her stand by my side even in the thick of it when I was so incredibly sick, and to continue to take care of me despite her not knowing what to do
Yeah.
was an incredible gift.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to repay her for the amount of love that she gave me during that time. Um, it was actually kind of interesting because I kind of had to grieve uh, our relationship changing because she came over here regularly, and so when I started becoming more independent again, I don't get to see her as often,
Mhm.
and that was difficult. I mean, not crazy difficult, but it was definitely a transition period where I was like, "Oh, my mom's not coming over anymore."
You're right.
Like, I guess I'm a real boy now.
Yeah.
Um, so, so I mean, we still talk regularly. It's just different now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's yeah, I this I just feel like I have um I feel like I have revelations like on the daily where I'm just like shocked that I'm still here.
yeah.
Like I texted my mom my current weight this morning and she goes, "I can't read your emoji. I don't know what's going on here. Like, are you stoked that your weight's this low or high, or is it not moving fast enough?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm about to not be in the 300s again."
Yeah,
Like, this is mind blowing. And I
yeah,
mean, it's moved incredibly slow. So like, I understand why she's asking that question, but I'm like,
yeah,
I'm still in shock that I'm about to not be 300 ever again.
yeah,
Um, because I will most likely be on therapy for the rest of my life. Like, if it's not Manjaro, it'll be Retta or Kagrasema or,
something.
I'll be on something for the rest of my life.
Yep,
It may be a low maintenance dose, but I, given my journey thus far and my body's incredible gift at being able to gain weight like there's no tomorrow. I don't foresee myself ever going off. I'd love to be like Jackie, where they can go completely off the meds. But that has its struggles too. So
yeah, oh, yeah.
nothing's perfect.
Nope,
We all have our journey and all have different needs and for therapy and all of that. So
yeah.
um, I'm thankful that I have this second chance to kick ass at life and um, so anyway, yeah,
And imagine if everyone who needed these could get them. This whole
right,
country would be a different country, you know?
yeah. I
It
just watched something. I watched one of Oprah's her latest podcast with an endocrinologist
with that doctor? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the doctor.
Mhm,
10 out of 10 recommend that
mhm.
two-part podcast. Um, but one of the data points she mentions is that currently 12% of Americans have access to the meds, but 50% of people in America want to access the meds.
Yeah,
I can't wait to close that gap
yeah,
of people that need the meds and people that want the meds. And because I think as we see that gap close, I think that we will see more and more people accept the fact that obesity is a disease and
yeah.
that just like blood pressure or cancer or any number of things or insulin for diabetics, like it's just needed therapy for a disease uh,
Well,
and
and
to cure the symptoms.
yeah, and I think, I mean, I think it's obvious more women as a whole have issues because of hormones and autoimmune disorders, and, I think 80% of autoimmune disorders are female.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but we need more men talking
yeah,
about this. And because
yes,
when I go live, it's always young men, and I know they're trolls and they're young and their brains
Mm.
haven't fully developed yet,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But it's young men, who just don't get it. And even if we got some, you know, men who are in shape and that understand and would start talking about it and
yeah,
help shift the mindset of the young gym bros and all that. I
yeah.
think it
There's
would
people
be
out there
more.
doing the work, but I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly agree with you that it's a space that needs more people talking about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
There's a really great guy named Ben Carpenter that is
Mhm.
doing the Lord's work on Instagram, and I mean he's kind of everywhere. I think he's on TikTok as well, but he goes after those types of trolls quite often.
Yeah.
And but I would agree with you. I think it's important. I agree that it's probably more on the side of like women's health and with the hormone issues, but I think it would be beneficial for people across the board to realize that hormones are a human issue,
They are,
and we
absolutely.
all
Well,
struggle
GLP-1's a
because
hormone, it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah. I mean, there's so many issues with women's health and lack of education there, both in the medical field and for just the general public. So many providers don't know what PCOS is,
Mhm.
and you know, I mean, I'm in the medical field. There's so many people, even in my in the hospital that I work in, that don't understand um, hormones and insulin resistance and all of that. And I think it would be so lovely to see people start to educate themselves about insulin resistance and just hormone health in general.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it would go a long way to moving this conversation forward in a positive manner. So,
yeah. Yeah, I've started asking, like, sometimes once in a while I can get a troll to actually converse,
mhm,
um, you're taking the easy way out, whatever it might be. And I'm like, well, okay, if you found out you were low on testosterone, would you? Well, of course, that's different. No, it's a hormone. I'm deficient in
right.
GLP-1. What's the difference? It's kind of like just doing what you can to try to make them see it, from a different perspective. But
Yep.
I think that, and I do, I'll get men that'll say, well, is this just a woman's medication? No, of
Hmm.
course not.
Yeah.
No, we just happen
Yeah.
to have a lot going on, so more
Yep.
women, and a lot of men just don't go to the doctor too. And, not to stereotype, but you know what I mean? I think there's
Yeah.
more men that just think they're okay. They don't get their blood work done, and more proactive. I think people trying to hunt down and find a good functional medicine doctor or endocrinologist. Like, I don't know if you ever saw my
Hmm.
interviews with Dr. Vickery, but he's amazing. And,
I'll have to go and
he's,
watch them.
yeah, I did 2 interviews with him, and he's
Nice.
whole body approach, what's your nutrition? He tests for, like, vitamin levels and hormones and comes at it, tries to keep people on low doses, especially if you're not diabetic, but,
Sure.
whatever works for you. But, um, so I went and got my hormone panel done. I have
Mm.
nothing. I have no estrogen, no progesterone, no
Yeah.
testosterone. I'm starting everything after my knee surgery.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I mean, I think, and with women with PCOS, you can have low hormones in your 30s.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like you should
Yeah.
be getting tested early and get that,
Yeah.
especially now that we know it's really not this huge risk of cancer and all the stuff they used to think it was.
Hmm.
Um, get it
They
checked.
used to think it was a cancer risk to take estrogen.
Yeah, I believe breast cancer, and I do think there might
Oh,
be
dang.
something depending on your genetics. I don't quite know. And then there was something else too that they thought there
Huh.
was a risk with estrogen. I don't remember what it was, but
Interesting.
yeah, because my mom stopped taking it because her doctor
Oh,
was afraid there was a risk of something. I don't know if it was cancer or something else, like I said, but now she's
yeah.
like, I wish I'd stayed on it. And I never
Yeah.
started it because I don't know, I didn't have all the symptoms. They don't have hot flashes or, I'm only
Mm-hmm.
55, but my whole family, I'm
Yeah.
adopted. They don't have those things. But it can improve
Right.
your sleep, it can improve your aging, all of this stuff. So
Totally. Yeah.
I'm gonna take it. Take it till
Yeah.
like I tell people, lift weights till you die. I think the one advantage for heavy people, if we come into this journey, 100 pounds overweight or more, we have massive muscle on our body. You can't
Yep.
see it, but it's there. So it's not
Yep.
as important initially, but it's like
Hmm.
women will lose muscle just by getting old. So it's like lift weights,
Yeah.
lift.
Yeah. Totally. I
Yeah.
think that's I think that's a huge myth that people believe that especially women don't believe in weight training. I'm like
Yeah.
that's literally like a surefire way to um what's the right word? To extend your life. Like
Absolutely. And I mean, it's like
yeah.
you'll be stronger in your old age. If you do some yoga, you'll have balance and flexibility. It's just I
Hmm.
see what my mom's going through. She's 84 and not that steady on her feet. She's had falls. Sorry, mom, to out you, but
Oh,
and I
yeah.
know, and I tried to push her when I wasn't in good health, to
Hmm.
at least do yoga and stuff. And so it's yoga makes you feel good. It actually
Yeah.
helps your mental state of mind.
Yeah.
It's so
I know.
amazing.
I really need to. I did it back in 2019, but I really should do it more, especially now that I'm more mobile.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And there's great video. I mean, use 20 minutes doing yoga and you're good.
yeah, yeah.
So, but
Oh,
this has been awesome, Nate. You're amazing.
amazing.
You're
You're
amazing.
amazing as well.
We're both
Oh,
amazing.
that's right.
That is right. So, if you had one piece of advice to anyone considering this journey or just starting out or both, what would you want to share?
Sure,
Or two
sure.
pieces, whatever, however many.
I think for someone, first of all, for someone considering going on meds, I would tell you to not give up on yourself. Um, I for too long did give up on myself. I just believed what the doctors told me and believed that I couldn't, that what was going on and inside of me was not fixable. And I think it's so important to be a skeptic and to seek out answers until you have solutions. Because if I had not done that, I who knows if I would be here. Um, if it hadn't been my type 2 diabetes, it would be the sleep apnea that would have taken me out. Um, and because of my persistence and my self-advocacy, I've landed here today at half the person I was 16 months ago. And I think that's so important. And in that journey, I think it's also important to love yourself and to choose joy every day. Um, and I truly think that if you start this journey by choosing yourself and to love yourself, that has a ripple effect over your entire life and outward into other people. And I mean, I do want to acknowledge that that is incredibly difficult, if you're still dealing with the symptoms of this disease. um, but I think as someone who has taken the step, while in the throes of the disease, um, that you can take that first step to take the shot and to watch this drug change your life. And all it takes is one step, to advocate for yourself and to get access to the medication and to do the blood work and to take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people and to love other people after you love yourself. And I think so many people miss that step, that to love yourself and to do the therapy and to be a better person. And I think that that is of vital importance.
Yeah,
Um, and Yeah, be a skeptic whether you've already on this medication or not. Um, I think all too often we want to believe the medical providers, and
mhm,
I've seen not only in my own life, but in the lives of my friends and people I run into on TikTok, that there's a lot of providers out here that don't know what they're talking about
mhm.
and don't understand the disease that we live with. And so I would encourage you to find folks that believe you and will listen to you. And and if you ever need anything, Kelly and I are here for you.
That's right.
So
That one,
yeah.
it's so huge. I mean, I daily, my doctor won't prescribe it. My doctor doesn't believe in it. And I'm like, well,
Hmm.
that's a bias. That's not
Yeah.
based on, find another doctor. And some people like to, I'm like, you don't have to fire your doctor if you like them, but you get a
Hmm.
second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion until you find someone that can support
Yeah.
what you want for your health. It's mind
Yep.
blowing that it's almost like some people feel their doctor's the authority and that what they say has. I'm like, no,
Hmm.
you employ them.
Hmm.
They're working for you,
Yeah.
and it's I don't know. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I try to say, like, without doctors, where would we be? People get
Mhm.
new hearts, they get new, you know, body parts,
Totally.
all of it. But
Yeah.
we don't all know everything. How could they? How
Yeah.
could they? You know?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still human as well.
Yep.
But I have I guess an acquaintance of mine that I know through a friend that is purposely avoiding GLP-1s because they want to get pregnant, but what they don't realize is that that very drug that they're avoiding because their doctor told them that they couldn't be on it, um,
Will help get pregnant.
is the very drug that will help them get pregnant.
Yeah.
And because of where they're at in life, they're at risk of never being able to become pregnant ever again.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just heartbreaking to me that one doctor's opinion, telling them that it affects that they would have to be it's kind of funny because they need to be on birth control. They told my acquaintance that they needed to be on birth control while on these meds, and I'm like, well, that's I mean, it's just crazy that because of this doctor's ignorance, um, they're being told something that is completely false.
Yeah.
And it's pulling them away from their lifelong dream of becoming a mom.
Yeah.
And that is heartbreaking because I see every day people becoming pregnant because of these meds.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We know people.
we
People
do.
that
We
were
know the
infertile
people.
for 10 years, suddenly, boom,
Yes.
pregnant,
Yeah.
and then you
So
just
I
come off
think,
the meds. It's like you're fine,
yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's just so important to be, most importantly, an advocate for yourself and to question if something doesn't seem right because that's the biggest thing that I think about is that I knew the whole time. I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
I've known since I was 8 years old that there was something wrong with my body, and it
Yeah.
only got worse. The neuropathy, the vision loss, the purple legs, the joint pain that was deep inside what felt like my soul. You
Yeah.
know, And I just, for over a decade, I believed the doctors and that they told me that I couldn't fix it. Um, I'm
Have
so
you been
glad that I
back to any of
eventually
those?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to the clinic, and I was actively seeing the therapist that I left last year. I was actively seeing her through the first few months of my journey, probably the first like 6 months of my journey, and she was really worried that I was quieting some of my hunger cues, which we know is food noise. And I genuinely think that because she doesn't have the disease of obesity, she doesn't understand the difference between food noise and hunger cues.
Yeah.
I still very much have hunger cues, and
I
I
get
listen to
hungry.
them.
Yeah.
hmm and then the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was that I was told that I was a shill for Eli Lilly.
Oh, god.
And you know, Okay, but they also manufacture insulin. So is anyone that's a diabetic a shill for Eli Lilly?
Right.
I mean, I'm not a fan that they're making billions of dollars, but I'm also a fan that they saved my life. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword, It's like
yeah. So then after I didn't get prescribed my medication from my primary care, I stopped seeing them and kind of switched to this weight loss surgeon for a while, for about 8 to 10 months. And so I didn't really need to because all my health was like coming back into order, right? So I
right.
really had no reason to. I had some like really small issues that I wanted to go back to her for. So after 10 months of not seeing her and dropping 200 pounds, I walked back into her office and she came out to the lobby to pick me up. And all she said to me was, "Oh, hi, nice to see you again."
What?
hmm So then in the appointment, I said, "Hey, so if I ever get to the point where I need someone to prescribe these medications to me, would you be able to take over as prescriber?" And she said, "No, I can't prescribe. If you would need it on like a month by month basis, I could prescribe it 1 month, but I will not prescribe this medication to you ongoing due to me not being able to prescribe this med for weight loss.
What about diabetes? I don't.
Right. I mean, I think that she would want me to go off of it because my diabetes is regulated.
Wow.
We didn't have the conversation about my diabetes being regulated because
Yeah.
I hadn't my last A1C test up until like 2 weeks ago was 5.9. And so I was unaware that I was in normal range. And so, I mean,
No.
to me, knowing all the data, like that seems crazy that you wouldn't stay on the medication because it's
Yeah.
regulating it. Like I wouldn't go off blood pressure medication because
No,
it's
I know.
regulating my blood pressure. So to me, that seems crazy. Um, but she doesn't understand that the weight loss is merely a side effect of the regulation.
Yeah.
Um, and that like my set point shouldn't be over 300 pounds
Yeah.
because I
Wow.
don't think anyone's set point should be over 300 pounds.
Mm.
I don't know if that's an unhinged thing to say in 2025, but
Right.
it seems absolutely ridiculous. So I found a new primary care provider. I just saw them for the first time this when I got my A1C test. Um and so I'll be seeing them regularly going forward, and she without any hesitation told me that if she actually was about to write me the script, but I said no, 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 I got the script for now. um I actually have another 3 months on the way, so I just I'm just getting prepared because I have trying to get rid of all the providers that won't believe me. So
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm just getting ahead of myself so that I have someone that can write me a script if I need it. Worst case scenario, I don't have or I need access or need someone to write me a script.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
can't
so
imagine like how many people, because we get them on TikTok, but how many people are out there, their doctor says no, they're horrible. They believe them, they go home and they never get, the help
mhm.
they need until hopefully, I mean, I think eventually it'd be widespread enough where they'll have a friend that's like, oh no, they're good. Here, come to my doctor or whatever. But it's just, I can't imagine how many people.
Yeah, I mean that's happening now, right? Like I have friends that like I have a friend of mine that said, "No, I wanna check with my provider or check with the doctor," and I'm like, "I totally get it, like, don't believe me." I mean, I wish they would.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, they kinda did did because like, I mean, they reached out to me for, like, advice and support, so, like, I mean, at the end of the day, they did reach out to me, but, like, they're like, "No, I just wanna, like, make sure that, like, I really need this med," and I'm like, "I'm telling you, you need it." And
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm not the provider, right?
Yeah.
So that I think that is happening. But yeah, I just the clinic, well, the clinic that I went to in 2019 for my eating disorder is still around and still being run by the same people, which is, a bunch of white straight sized people. Straight size is like the word for someone who's not overweight but also
Mhm.
not thin. Um, And, so kinda like in the same way you would say someone is white passing, you would say someone is thin passing. Um, there's some similarities there. And so they just don't then none of them get it.
No.
And so same with the, primary care office that I was going to. They're a weight inclusive clinic.
Yeah.
And, I got an email shortly after I just made the decision to leave my primary care provider, and they were adding a new provider on, and they said, "This provider is also weight inclusive," and my head just sank because that's basically saying, "Oh, and we also neglect people of higher weights."
Right.
Rad.
Right.
Like, so we're just going to ignore the fact that you have the disease of obesity and just tell you that you're an amazing person. Despite which, I mean, yeah, everyone's an amazing person, but like maybe let's take care of all your pain.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that doesn't get talked about a lot is that most of the people that are accepting of their fat and accepting of their body are in their 20s.
Yeah.
And once they figure out that extra size and extra fat leads to massive amounts of pain. They have their come to Jesus moment, and they realize that maybe what they thought was true is maybe not actually true, and that maybe they actually do have a disease.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Yeah, I didn't know till I took my first shot. I still thought it was my fault, so
mhm,
and I even struggle. I'm like, "What do you mean it's a disease?" How is it? But that,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
complex and and I get it now and it's
yeah,
it's I think things that led to it for me were the PCOS and the ADHD, none of which were diagnosed till I was in my 50s, neither of them.
right, right,
So, I just always thought I was a problem. I'm the problem. And, what I will say, I've talked about this before, but it was like,
mhm,
in an instant, I knew after I took that shot that it was not my fault because how can a
yep,
shot take my depression away overnight, remove the food like,
mhm,
it was unbelievable, and I
yeah,
was able to release this guilt and shame that I've had for 40 years overnight. Not everyone probably experiences that, but I think I'd done enough self-work where I was just like, "Oh, well, this isn't, this can just leave now because it's
yep,
not my fault." And it was
mhm,
unbelievable to experience that. So,
yeah. I think the only reason I was able to let go of it is that from 2019 on, I was skeptical when I was in partial inpatient treatment because I would sit at the table with everyone that had anorexia and all these other eating disorders, and they were rail thin.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sitting at this table and I have no problems getting this food in.
Yeah, I
And then I,
couldn't have been
I did
anorexic.
this.
There's no way.
Well, I mean,
You know what I
that's what I was.
mean. Yeah.
I was diagnosed as an anorexic. And they're like, but you have compensatory binges, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like because I have food noise. But anyways,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I did this one experiential like thing with a provider and a couple of my other people that I was in treatment with, and they did this thing where we all had breakfast together and we would talk about all of the feelings we had while we were eating the breakfast and like
Mhm.
practice like mindful eating is a joke if you have this disease. Um, but like I mean I was in an environment where I could kind of do it because it was so like the experience was very locked down, right? So like a lot of it was controlled.
Mhm.
But, like, thinking back about that experience, it all makes sense now that I'm regulated.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
get all the stuff that my, like, peers were saying in treatment. I'm like, "Oh my god, that makes sense." Like, I can slow down enough to, like, think about those things, and, like, I understand all the things you were saying about, like, how the food feels in your body
Mhm. Mhm.
now that I'm regulated.
Yep.
But I would just show up to that table and just eat, whatever was on my plate, and, I didn't necessarily ever want more, but I think it was because I was being provided the amount of food that I needed that I should have
Yeah.
been eating, right? It's like I was never left, like, needing food or, like, to be able I never had to, like, go get the food myself
Yeah.
when I was in treatment. So all I had to do was just show up every day, get the food off the kitchen counter, and then sit at the table and eat it, right?
Yeah.
Um But the whole time we were, like, sitting in, like, group therapy or at the table, and I'm just like, I'm not like these people."
No, yeah.
And then the other people that were also overweight, I mean, I don't know what their diagnosis was, but, like, I just knowing that they were also in that environment and being treated the same way or being treated like, their disease was not real, and, I have quite a few friends that have had weight loss surgery and regained all of it
Mhm.
back, and, I mean, the mental hoops that you would have to go through to, like, try and not tell yourself that that was your fault and that you just were broken and, it's just so many painful things, but, like, all through that process, I'm like, this can't be right. This can't be the answer. Even though I was trying to believe them because they were medical providers,
Yeah.
like they had gone to school. I was seeing a dietitian and a therapist, more than once a week, and
Yeah.
um, all these clinical providers that were, you know, giving me all the data, trying to tell me that like, the one that like just resounds in my head is 95% of diets don't work. Like, no shit, Sherlock. We all have we all have diabetes or obesity.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
of course it doesn't work
Yeah.
because our body's dysregulated. But you are twisting the truth.
Yeah.
Which, maybe they didn't understand that.
Yeah, I
Maybe they
think
don't
some don't
understand
know,
that.
and yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But it was difficult going through that experience as a patient, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. I've had nightmares of walking back into that place, going, "What the were you guys thinking?"
Yeah, right. It's funny, so you mentioned the whole intuitive eating or mindful eating. So I was
Hmm.
working with someone a couple years ago and, struggling with my self-worth and weight and all of this, and she's like, "Go get this book on intuitive eating. Do what it says. You have to spend some time and kind of indulge in the things that you really like." And I'm like, "I can't do that. I'm trying to get my knees replaced. I will get even fatter." I'm like, "I
Right.
can't do that." But nonetheless, I'm going to read the book and try it. And so I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I do what this book says? Why,
Hmm.
I can't hear that I'm craving protein because all I want is sugar and carbs all the time. And
Yeah.
then I do this shot and I'm like, oh, okay. So if you're normal, you can eat intuitively. But if
Yeah.
you're dysregulated, there's no way you can do that, but it
Hmm.
it gave me
Hmm.
that insight that, yes, this is a real thing for people that aren't, it's I can hear my body now and I know what it wants,
Yeah.
and, but so many people cannot do that. And then you think something's wrong with you, so it's very similar. I mean, it wasn't but nonetheless, it was that aha moment of, oh, this
Hmm.
this is what they think I was like them, and that this would just work
Hmm.
for me, and it does not work for everybody. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. That's the thing that I find that is one of the things that I really struggle with is folks that don't understand the science because they
Yeah.
haven't researched it, and I just the amount of I mean, and you get it, you're a creator in this space, but the amount of people that just say, well, okay, but thermodynamics, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that works, that makes sense if everything's regulated,
Everything's working. Exactly.
but the biology doesn't doesn't allow that to be a thing.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yep.
yeah.
All right, Nate.
All
Thank
right.
you once again.
Yes,
I really appreciate your time. This has been great.
of
And
course. Thanks for having me.
everyone, if you go down in the description, trying to unmute myself.
There we go. We're back. Hey,
Yeah,
y'all.
that was amazing.
Yeah, I just texted you like that. That was such a like even better than I remember the interview being. So
Yeah,
incredibly
amazing.
thankful for that.
It will be forever on YouTube, forever and ever and ever.
Oh, I love it. We talked about so many good things.
Oh, I know.
Oh, so many
Come
good
here.
nuggets.
Come here. Sorry, my dog's like,
Thanks y'all for being here and for hearing my story. I appreciate it.
come on, come. All right, good job. Turn around.
I knew we
Good.
talked about the medical harm and neglect too, but I didn't realize that we talked about it so much.
Yeah.
So
No, I think it's
that's pretty
important though. I
crazy.
mean, that's I can't imagine how many people go through that.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunately very relatable. So
Yeah. So if anyone has questions, throw them in the chat. Bring it on.
bring it
Let's go.
on. I'm in the hot seat.
He's in the hot seat. That's right. Oh, let me. Do I have the right
Yeah.
microphone on? Hold on. Let me check something while we're. Oh, I do have the wrong microphone. This will probably sound a little better. Test,
Thank
test.
you, Kim.
All right. We need to get Nate a purple sofa. We're going to start a GoFundMe.
I think I'd really like a navy blue sofa,
Navy
actually.
blue. Okay. Like
Yeah.
a really dark navy or like a.
Hmm.
Okay. What dose are
Yeah.
you
Like
on?
kind of like my hat. I'm on 12.5 and
Have you
have
ever
been for
gone
about
beyond
6
that?
months. Not yet, no.
Nope.
I could see myself hitting 15 at some point this year before I hit maintenance, but I don't think I'll stay on 15.
Right on.
But also, huge shout out to my mom who's in chat
Oh, was
and has
that really
been
your
the
mom?
entire time. That was my mom.
No,
Yeah.
I thought you were joking. You were like, "Hey, mom," and
No,
I'm
it's
like,
my
"Is
mom.
that Nate's
Yeah.
mom?" Hey,
Mom,
Nate's
thank you
mom,
so
you're
much.
amazing. Can you adopt us all, please?
Yeah.
Pretty please.
I'm sure she would love that. Um, the the amount that you've done for me over the last couple of years has been incredible, and I can never thank you enough for all that you've done for me when I couldn't even get up from the couch in front of me. And I owe you my life and my second chance, and um, incredibly thankful for you and all that you've sacrificed to be here for me, even in your own trials that you've been through the last couple of years. And together we're rising, and we're going to kick ass at this second chance that we have at life. And I love you so much. And I know that despite all the hurt and trauma that we've both been through, we're going to rise above that. And that I love you despite what we've been through and what I went through in my childhood. Know that I love you despite all of that. And it's only going to be onward and upward from here, and we're going to have some amazing life adventures for the rest of our time together. And I love you to the depths of my heart. Thank you so much.
Wow. Holy crap. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's not every day that you get an opportunity to have an audience when you're gushing over your mother. So I figured I'd take the opportunity.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, questions, guys. Come on. Let me see if do I have any for you, Nate? I asked them all in the interview.
Right, right.
Well, okay. So when's the book coming out?
Oh, geez. I
I
know
think
so
it'd
many
be
people
great.
have
I
told
mean,
me I need,
think about it.
yeah.
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 Consider it.
Yeah, I think if I probably should maybe hire someone to like help me come up with an outline, and then I probably if I had an outline, I probably could work on that. I think it as as someone with neurodivergence, uh, the thought of writing a book, let alone reading a book, is quite daunting. So
We could do a good audiobook too though. But,
that's
I
true.
have
People
I
love my
have an
voice.
idea. And this isn't getting Chat GPT to write your book, but you can have it help you like outline your book and you can do all the prep work
Yeah.
and then, use use the AI,
Yeah,
not the
help it
writer.
to write a book proposal or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
I probably
it
should
helps
turn
me
it
get
into my
my
best friend.
huh? Do what?
I should turn it into my best friend so it knows all my deepest, darkest
There
secrets,
you
and
go.
then it can help me write the book
There you go.
or the
There you go.
proposal at least.
Yep.
Ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter, yep. That's what I would probably have to do. Yeah, when
Yeah,
Nate merch. I love all these deep questions. When are we getting the peptide gang?
Peptide Gang. So obviously, initial stuff has turned out really great. I got the logo down, and now just need to kind of pull some resources together to get the Shopify account up and running and linked to my website, peptidegang.com. So for those of you in the future, when this is up and running, you can go to peptidegang.com and get your merch. Um, hopefully that's up and
Danielle's like,
running
"Where's my hat?" Yeah, where's
soon.
my hat? No.
Right. There's only 2 hats so far. Well, I guess 3 because the original bubble letter one, and then this one. Christy is the owner of the other one.
Nice,
Um,
nice, as she should be.
so
I mean, holy crap.
yeah, I got to give that to her on her 3-year anniversary, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of think that it'll probably be a couple months until I'm able to iron out all the details of the manufacturing and getting the drop shipping up and running
Yeah.
and stuff. But I'm hoping it
So
will be out soon. I'd like to get it done before I go to school in July. So that's kind of a deadline that I have for myself to kind of get it up and running before then.
you've got it. So Lauren thought our interview was recorded and we were just massive multitaskers, so I love that. Like we were responding in the chat, but not looking away from the screen. And then
We're incredible.
if you do a book, you definitely have to be the voice for the audiobook for sure.
Oh,
Like
heck yeah. I
you
would
have to
totally do
audio
that.
your own book. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
It'd be amazing.
Hmm.
It's
Wow, I
Kelly
was
looking
expecting
like
like
yeah.
hard hitting questions. These
I
have been
know. Come
pretty
on, guys. Bring on a couple hard questions for Nate. Let's make
I
them
mean, I know
fun.
I
No, I'm
talked
just
about a
kidding.
lot of my journey, but I'm sure there's lots that to still
What's your
uncover. So
like do you have I don't really have a goal weight. I'll like kind of know when I get there, but do you have
yeah,
like I have there's two goals I have. One is kind of getting to a certain weight ish, but then I want to also try to build muscle once I get there. You know what I mean? That's kind of my goal. I don't really have like I must be this weight, but what's your goal ish?
yeah. So in the interview, I said that I want to lose 70%, but since the interview, I've kind of like reworked the math. I actually have my first DEXA scan a year ago. I have it sitting over on my coffee table, and in that, obviously it's dynamic, so it could change. But on that DEXA scan, I have 205 pounds of lean mass. Um,
Wow,
and
amazing.
so the
You don't
yeah,
need to
the
do much.
likely yeah, so the likelihood that I will get below 200 is slim, or like, I mean, definitely. So in the interview, I said like 180, and that would
Yeah,
be 70%. But I don't think I'm going to get to 70%. I think that it will probably be like 65 to 68%, which I'm totally fine with. But I think that I'll probably sit around 210. Um,
and it'll be a lot of
and
muscle.
so a lot of muscle. Top of my bucket list, jumping out of a goddamn airplane.
Yes, me too. Well, let's all 3
Yeah,
go together. Come on, let's do it.
yeah. So I guess I think Christy probably knows this, but the actual original bucket list item, or what I call the manifest list, because I believe manifest list makes it feel like it's something that I'm working towards, rather than just like, oh, like I hope this
I
happens one
wish.
day. Like these are
Yeah,
things that I want to like
I love it.
manifest into reality. So the top things on that list are to hike Mount Whitney at some points in the next couple of years, skydive. I want to ride a horse on the black sand beaches in Iceland. I
What?
want
Can
to
I
end
come?
up on the Kelly Clarkson show. I want to be on the Drew Barrymore show. It'd be I've always loved live with
Drew.
Kelly and Mark, so I'd love to meet Kelly Ripa or be on her show.
Nice.
Um,
Well, all that's
yeah, I mean,
happening, Nate.
maybe
Write your
writing a book
book.
should be on there as well, but
Yep, yep. Then
that I
Drew
couldn't
can
do.
sit
I mean,
really
all of
close.
those things are things that I wanted to do that I couldn't do in a larger body. So
Drew can sit really close to you on the couch and touch your leg. I'm being funny. I love Drew so much.
I love Drew.
I
I mean, I
love
think
Drew.
some
She's
of y'all
special.
that have been in my TikTok lives the last few weeks to a month know that I really think that the world could use more intimacy
Mhm.
in all relationships across the board. I think that we are very pulled apart physically and mentally. Um, and so I think that Drew is doing her part
He is.
to bring that back into the zeitgeist. And
Yeah.
I think being physically close and emotionally close to other humans and people that truly care for us is incredibly important. Um,
Well,
and that's
and
something that was missing in my traumatic childhood.
yeah,
So,
ditto.
you know, and
But
something that my mom wanted to work on, but it was very hard, you know?
I think with neurodivergent people too, like I almost have an aversion to it. And I'm sure I've made it worse over my life by not, you know
Mm,
what I mean? Like it's almost like,
mhm.
ew, vulnerability, ew, but it's not that's my own shit. I'm just saying, but I do think
Yeah,
neurodivergency adds to that sometimes because it can be a
yeah,
lot to be around people. But I've had moments where I could be very but it's not with like a lot of people. It's like with certain people I can go there. But I agree with you though. I think it's
Yeah.
they say a lot
Well,
of
I mean,
issues with addiction comes from lack of connection, you know.
yeah. Yep. I think
Dr.
for
Report.
anyone that knows me in real life, they would know that I have no problem being vulnerable and putting myself out there. And sometimes I put myself out there too much and end up getting myself hurt.
Mm,
And so I sometimes need to pull back. But I think in the right circumstances and with safe people,
mhm.
vulnerability can be huge.
Yep.
Brene Brown talks about it a lot. And I think there's incredible work to be done in being vulnerable and feeling our emotions, even the bad ones, quote unquote bad ones, feeling anger and grief and sadness and all the things, especially as we grieve all the ways we've been wronged in larger bodies. I think is where the work is, and I think that a lot of people just focus on getting the number down, but that is the least important thing on this
Mhm.
journey. The most important thing is to work on ourselves and to choose ourselves and to put ourselves first. Because when we put ourselves first, all of our other relationships will, all tides all raise. What's that phrase? The like raise all ships. Something about tides and raising ships. I think it's important that we take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our loved ones around us. Because at the end of the day, we're stuck with ourselves for the rest of our lives. Like
Yeah.
that's our longest relationship is ourselves.
Yep.
So
Yep. You die alone, you're born alone, all of it. So,
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean. But did you see Mindy's question? You kind of answered it, but maybe there's other.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a lot of the stuff on the manifest list. Skydiving is big. Base jumping. Sorry, mom.
Base jumping.
uh,
Oh, goodness. Love
Yeah,
you
so I'm
sports.
planning to do
Yeah.
that sometime between my birthday this year, which is in August, and then my 2-year anniversary, which is in October. It just kind of depends on where my weight lies at that time.
Now, do you mean parachute
Especially,
base jumping or like the flying suit? You know what I mean, that flying.
well, the one that Christy and I are interested in doing is in Utah, and
Okay.
they jump off cliffs where it's like tied to a rip cord. So as you
Okay.
jump, it pulls it automatically.
Okay, so it's a
Um,
shoot though. Okay.
Yeah, and then all of this would be tandem because I'm
Yeah.
not licensed in any of this. So
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then riding horses has always been something that I've really wanted to do, that I've just really not had any access to as
I've
someone in
never
a
ridden
larger
a horse,
body.
Nate. Never done it. I wanna do it.
Yeah.
I'll go with you to
Yeah.
Iceland. Let's all make a trip to Iceland and we'll go ride
That
with
would
Nate
be
on the black sand
incredible. I'd
beach.
love
Can you
that.
imagine?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to
I
go to
can.
Iceland
I
for what
can,
it's
yeah.
worth. No, I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. It's on my manifest list. I'm not gonna say bucket list to go to Iceland.
Yes, yes, I love that.
Such a cool place.
Yeah.
So, she wants to know what base jumping is. Why don't you explain it?
Base jumping is where you jump from somewhere really high with a parachute strapped to you like a backpack. And then you either are tied to like a rope that's anchored and it pulls the chute for you as you jump, or you like jump and free fall and then pull the ripcord from your backpack at
Yeah.
whatever point you would like to. Like some people that I follow that do the base jumping in Utah, in Moab, they just jumped off the Burj Khalifa in Dubai,
Oh,
and they
wow.
just free fell for a really long time before they pulled the
'Cause
cord.
that's high enough. Because some
So,
base jumps are short, like, it's not that high,
right.
you gotta pull it immediately.
Yeah, the stuff that
Wow.
is the base jumping Moab, it's pretty like they do videos where they do from the countdown to when they land, and it's only like 2 minutes. So obviously that's really quick
Yeah.
because the hike takes a couple hours. So, was there anything that you did that made you emotional since weight loss? Mine was not needing to extend it on. Yeah, that's the thing that I talked about in the interview is really it for me. It's the really small things of walking down the sidewalk with no pain. That's the thing that
Mhm.
trips me up. Or like I walk around a corner at work and I'm like, oh my God, like I just got up without any pain. Like I didn't think about getting out of this chair.
Yeah.
Or I'm, walking this family back to their loved one in the surgery center they work in, and I'm like, oh my God, there's no back pain. Or oh my God, I've been talking to this person for 5 minutes and I've just been standing here the entire time and I haven't thought about having to sit down.
Yeah.
Um, it's pulling my legs up close to me, um, without even thinking about it. It's, I just sat crisscross applesauce in this chair a couple days ago. Haven't done that in decades. It's those small things. I think another thing that people don't really think about very often is the emotional ways that you change, and me being able to carry on a conversation, um, for any length of time is like night and day. I could not carry conversations, and I've had that reflected back from people here in my real life here in Seattle. People have said, "Wow, like it's so incredible to actually have a conversation with you because the last few times that we've talked, we haven't been able to talk because you haven't been able to engage in conversation." Um, those are the huge things. I just had a really long conversation with a friend of mine today, where I think one of the biggest non-skill victories that I've had in the last 16 months is being able to purposely engage with friends that I deeply care about and to grow intimate friendships and relationships. Um, those are things that I longed to do when I was just sitting here stuck in my apartment with I had no personal interaction with anyone except my mom. And so to be able to grow relationships and go out after work and go dancing, or, um, grab coffee with a friend, or, reaching out via text. Like I have the emotional energy and physical energy to reach out via text and be like, hey, like we haven't talked in a couple months. How are you doing? How's your heart? Um, those things would run through my head, but I could not do that due to the brain fog, the
Mhm.
the physical limitations, the 15 out of 10 pain. All of that was literally impossible. So gaining my friendships back, and my ability to interact with folks is, a blessing that I never thought that I'd ever get back. So
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah,
nice.
depression can
Depending
be
on
a
when
Oh, go ahead.
Margie, depending on when you're going to be here, I might be gone because I'm going to be out of the states at the end of the month. So
Where are we
there's only one
going?
weekend. I will be in Kentucky the 20th through the 24th,
Oh, okay.
and
I thought you said
then
out of
the
the
first week of
States, like, you know,
oh,
out of the
just out
country.
of
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
No, just to a
Got it.
different state. Yeah, I'm going to Kentucky for a few days. One of my best friends lives there, and then there's a meetup happening with some GLP folks.
Cool.
Um, so I will be in Portland at the beginning of April, but there's no real set plans for that quite yet. So just road tripping with a friend from Seattle, and we're just meeting up with folks in Portland, so or near Portland.
Sweet. Sweet. Be
Yep,
safe with
traveling every
that.
couple of weeks. Hi D. I don't know
What's
who you
going
are,
on?
but it's nice to see
Oh,
you.
I thought maybe you knew her. Oh,
No,
that's funny. Hey,
I mean I know
Dee.
people named D, but I'm not sure who that person is. But
Oh, Elizabeth's 2 hours from Seattle. Gotta do a
oh, that
Seattle
yeah,
meetup. Yeah.
Sunshine. I was also bullied in junior high and high school, but I did not talk about that in the interview. But I was pantsed in front of my entire class, shoved into lockers. I was taunted in my classes by my peers in my own grade. Um, and I actually just had someone reach out to me about 6 months ago to apologize for all of that. And
Wow.
it's definitely an apology I never thought I would get. But yeah, I was actually contacted by Oprah's team to be on one of the specials. and my content that I filmed for her never ended up airing, but I did post about it on my Instagram. I put most of my really vulnerable stuff on there because it's where most of like my IRL people are, and they reached out via DM and apologized and said, "I'm really sorry. I don't really. I've kind of cut out everything that happened in high school for in junior high for me, but I know that I wasn't a very nice person, and I really apologize for what I did and my friends did to you. And it seems like you're doing really well, and I'm really sorry that I did all those things, and that was incredible. I
Yeah,
didn't reach back out to them, but I was thankful to have that resolution. So,
amazing.
Lolly, I did post frequently on TikTok, but I didn't really journal anything. It's kind of a regret I have, but I'm trying to just be compassionate with myself.
Ditto.
Um, but yeah, it
I
was.
actually
I mean, go ahead.
no, you go.
Uh, to be honest, just going through the experience as a large person at 600 pounds was it took enough energy to get through that. So trying to document it at the same time would have been difficult. So
Yeah. No, I didn't either, and I probably just because I was so self-loathing and, why would I wanna journal about all of that?
hmm
But I came across a video today, I'm gonna post it on TikTok tomorrow, that I made in January of 2023. Never
mm,
did anything like this. I just was recording myself, like, making this statement of, I'm
yeah.
gonna try to get this weight off the next year. If I can't do it, I'm gonna have surgery, but I'm gonna give myself a year. I currently
Mm,
weigh this. I ended up losing 6 pounds in the year, and then, of course, I got on Zepbound instead of getting on the but just to run across, I'm like, "Oh, shit. This is so cool."
yeah,
I can't believe I
that's
did that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. This drug has changed our lives.
Now this is a good idea. Write down all those NSVs. I think that's a good idea. Could even do some really
Get
cool,
on it, Christy.
it's Dave X from TikTok.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Dave. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for being here, dude.
I don't know you, but hi.
He's a new friend on TikTok,
Oh,
so
nice. Very cool. Very
yeah.
cool. That's where I met Nate.
That's right.
That's where we all met pretty much.
Yep.
So, any other questions, guys? Did I miss any? I'm scrolling up. I don't think so. Any other questions
Now's
for
your last
Nate?
chance.
Any questions for Tugger? No. Do you have any pets, Nate?
I don't have any pets. My mom
No.
has two cats that I
Okay.
love to spend time with, but I'm not allowed to have any pets here where I
Got
live
it.
currently. So uh, once I'm done with school and in my career field, and kind of doing that phase of my life, I probably will get a dog. Because I definitely could handle a dog now, but I think getting through school, doing full time school and full time work for the next couple of years is going to take a lot of my time and energy. But I think once I'm done with school, getting a dog would be really fun.
Yeah.
So
Look at the screen, Nate.
I love you, Mama. I'll talk to you soon.
We love you, Nate mom or Nate's mom.
Love you so much.
Wait, what's that mean, Danielle? Why are you so lovely, Nate? And then what does this one mean? Who's your favorite little lemon on TikTok? That must be an
It's because
inside joke.
Danielle goes by Lemoncello
Oh, okay, got
on
it.
TikTok.
Yay, Sarah.
Oh, that's amazing, Sarah. You got this.
Yep.
I believe in you. Don't give up.
Sarah's in my lives all the time. Nate goes lives a lot too, so follow him.
I do,
If you
yeah.
guys, what's your TikTok handle? I mean, most people know it, but
TikTok is, I mean, Oh, it should be. Oh, it was down there at the beginning, but it's just at underscore moving underscore mountains, and then I have a secondary account that's A1C Daddy, and those are my two TikToks. And then my Instagram is Nathan Levi Curry as well.
Nathan Levi Curry. I don't think I'm following you there, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think you are.
Am I? Okay. If
Yeah,
you followed me, I probably followed you back or vice versa. So
yeah.
I've lost track.
I mean, I'm definitely following you, so
Okay, then I'm probably following, but I'll make sure.
because I have a Moving Mountains Instagram as well, but I haven't used that since June of last year, so just kind of consolidating everything to the personal Insta. So
Right on.
yeah,
So what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna this live will be up on TikTok permanently, but I'm gonna
YouTube.
download it and then yes, on on YouTube. I'm gonna download it and then make a more professional, like with an intro, some photos like we talked about. I've got a photo of him when he was prom king, stuff like that. But I'll keep
Yes.
Q&A at the end because why not? And then
Yeah.
I'll put all your socials, in the description of that too. So oh, you've been on Nate's live, but you were nervous. You post on my lives all the time, Lolly. You got to post on his lives.
Gotta post. Gotta post.
Yeah, Nate's amazing. Nate is slacking on his morning lives. Why are you slacking, Nate?
Only for this last week because I just got back from Dallas. But I promise I'll be back.
Right on. When do you normally go live?
When do I normally go live? Um, I've been trying to go live between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in
Oh,
the
perfect.
mornings,
See,
and then
right when I get
periodically I
off.
go. Yeah, periodically I go live um, at night, just like periodically. Like I don't have a nightly schedule, but
Yeah.
um, I try to go live most mornings during the week. Um, so that's the dealio.
Well, Dave thinks you're a hero, and Margie thanks us.
Oh,
You guys
shoot.
rock. Yeah, thanks all 39 of you for staying this long. This has been great.
Yeah. This is me in high school.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. That's awesome. Please send me a copy. I'll fit that into the video.
Yeah, I was trying to look for that one that, oh, here it is. This is the prom or the homecoming picture that she'll put in the other interview that I talked about in the interview, is this one.
Yeah, I see your ring light.
Yep.
So great. Well, any last words of wisdom for the masses,
Last
Nate?
words of wisdom. Don't give up on yourself. And
Right on.
remember to love yourself so that you can love others after you start taking care of yourself.
Yes.
For the
And
amount
can
of
I add
love,
to that? Oh, sorry.
yeah, yeah, go for it.
Well, and I want to add because I always used to hear this and it would piss me off because I thought it was so wrong that people would say that you have to love yourself before others can love you. And it's kind of
Hmm.
that granted it makes it easier to receive love if you know how to love yourself. I'll agree with that. But
Right.
that for some people who haven't gotten there yet, having others show you love is a way to learn how to love yourself. So I think it's this
Oh, totally.
reciprocal, so you don't just because you don't love yourself doesn't mean you can't let love in and then you'll learn. So I just wanted to add that because I
Hmm.
hate that. I hate that people say that. It
Yeah.
just infuriates me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that that's been crucial in my journey. I mean, mom's not here anymore, but my mom showing me unconditional love while I was in the throes of it and completely ignoring my disease because I thought that's what I needed to do, um, was how I ended up getting out of it.
Yeah.
And so I think that having those key people that love you unconditionally and show up for you, um, is incredible. I have the friend that I'm gonna be able to finally hug in Kentucky. Um, she's an IRL friend that moved away and having her in like the thick of it and knowing that I could text her at any point and having those people that were there for me in the depths of the darkness, um, those are the people that are still here and that I count as uh, lifesavers. You know, I mean, them alongside the drugs have changed my life, and I have a sound bite of the friend in Kentucky, saying that she's so thankful that I'm still here and that um, I get to continue living life, and I'll cherish that soundbite for the rest of my life. Um, and having those close relationships along with the meds are what saved me. And if it weren't for those people, I don't think that I would be as far along in loving myself and choosing myself and putting myself first. Um, so if you're able to do that for your friends, I think that's an incredibly powerful gift that you can give them. Um, so
Yep. Agreed.
heck yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. I know it's always so awkward to end things, but hey, we're right
It
at the
is.
2-hour mark. That's amazing too. Um,
Boom.
this has
Thank
been
you,
amazing.
Rachel.
Yeah, thank you guys and thank you, Nate. And I would say, let's do it again in 6, 8 months. Let's seriously,
Yeah.
let's do it again because you'll
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of new things to talk about, and
Yeah.
you'll have a book coming out. You'll be on Drew Barrymore.
I mean, hopefully
Every
the merch will be launched by then.
merch,
Hopefully.
yes. And everyone, send this live interview to Drew right now, and let's get
Yes.
you on the show. Seriously,
Yeah.
not kidding.
Let's kill that manifest list.
Yep,
Make me add more stuff to it.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I love
Man,
everybody. Thanks for coming.
here's to hugs with Drew.
Here's the hugs with Drew. Yes, we'll all come.
Yeah.
But the deal is we all have to be able to come and be in the audience. I'm joking, of
Heck
course,
yeah. That would be
but if we
awesome.
could, that'd be.
I'd
Can
love
you
it.
imagine like a GLP-1
Oh,
audience? It would be amazing.
that would be amazing.
Let's manifest that.
Love it. Let's do it. I'm down.
Awesome.
Let's go, Drew.
Live. Let's go, Drew. Let's do it.
Yes.
All right, everyone, have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. And Nate, will you be on tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I might go live tonight.
Okay. Well,
Maybe
there you
we'll just
go.
we'll do an after party on TikTok maybe.
After party. Right on. Right on. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All
Bye,
right.
Nate.
Bye everyone. Thanks for being here.
See you guys.